Alright, so we're going to try to finish this thing up today. First thing is we're going to place some parts. So we're going to go place. We're going to go to, I'm trying to think where these things are. Okay, they're in the pattern mounts. So you're going to open up the one that's called pattern mounts. And it's called a side tapped pattern mount D. And you're going to place in, we're going to need a bunch of these. Probably about 3 per side. So, I don't know, I didn't count those. We'll start with that. Alright, so what these are for is these go into position right here. Let me go ahead and constrain one of these into place. I'm going to go into position right here, like that, apply that. Let me slide that back and forth. I'm actually going to put these into place here. Now what this does, this C channel, and I'll show you on an actual channel, but the C channels here, they can bend together, and you can kind of collapse the C like you're squeezing it together between here and here. And what that does is if you have a beam going straight up, it'll let that beam lean back and forth. So we don't want that to happen. To stiffen up your frame a bunch, you put these in. Now, where I want you to put these in is, talk to Mr. Hernandez a little bit. We want to put them within 1 inch from the end. So no more than 1 inch from the end. So you can put them all the way to the end right there. Or you can slide them in 1 inch and put them in 1 inch. And now I say 1 inch, and I think 1 inch is going to be an appropriate measurement. Let me see. I actually like to line them up to where these large holes line up with each other. So I'm going to put it from there to there. Oops, something's going on with that. I did that other constraint first. I may have to get rid of that other constraint. Let me see here. Let's delete that. Now let's go center line to center line. So center of that. To center of that. There we go. So now those two are lined up. Now let's see. I'm going to line up this hole here if I can get to this hole. Oh, I had it rotated the wrong way. That's what I had going on. That hole aligned with that hole, I think. Yeah, there we go. And that has that locked in there. That actually has it locked in right there like that. So those bolt holes line up. That thing lines up. That's good. Let's measure here. Make sure within 1 inch. Measure from there to there. And I'm 21.59 millimeters. Hopefully we all know there's 25.4 millimeters in an inch, so we should be good. So maybe I should go with that. Within 25 millimeters from the end, and with no more than 75 millimeters in between them. And I think that's going to work nicely. Let's see here. So I'm going to go constrain again. I'm going to grab this one out. I'm going to go over, I'm going to leave, I think I can leave 1, 2, 3 holes in between. I think I can go right here. Let's see what that's going to do for us. Center. Again, I count up 1, 2, 3, leave 3 holes, go to this one. Apply that. Constrain. Let's rotate this thing around here a little bit. Whoa! There we go. Do this one. Wow. I need to slide that down and replace it a little bit better. There we go. Straighten the center of that hole, center of that one. I may have picked the wrong hole. I think I may have to go to this one. Straighten that one. That one. There we go. So now let's measure in between these and see what we got. Measure from there. There. Oh, and I'm only 43 millimeters. I could go definitely another hole, maybe another 2 holes in between. So I am going to do that. So I'm going to pick that one and move it over a little bit. I'll pause while I do that. Alright, so we're going to mix this up a little bit. We're going to change the first thing I said. So from the end, no more than 25 millimeters from the end. In between them, let's go 100 millimeters. No more than 100 millimeters. Now, when I actually measure this one, I measure from there to there. And I measure 100.33 millimeters. I'm okay calling that no more than 100 millimeters. 0.33 millimeters is not much. So there I've got 100 millimeters in between and 25 millimeters or less here. And that's pretty good. So we're going to put another bracket here on this side. And I'm going to continue that all the way around the robot. So that's going to make basically 3 brackets per side of the robot. And that'll be great. I'm going to get those in and I'll come back to you. Alright, so now we look at this. I have 1, 2, 3 brackets on that side, 3 on that side, 3 on that side, and 3 on that side. So all my sides are done with 3 brackets all the way around. So now what we have to do is we have to put a plate on the top of this robot for some of our electrical components to set onto, to mount to. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to make just a piece of Lexan. Our Lexan we're going to do is going to be a 0.1 inch thick Lexan. And so the first thing we need to do is see how big we need to make that. So I'm going to measure from that line there to that line there. And I see that that is 342.9 millimeters. 342.9. So I'm going to measure, and let me make sure I measure the right surfaces here just to double check myself. Yes, I did. So 343 millimeters, we're just going to round that up to 0.1, that's all right. So 343 millimeters long. Then we're going to measure in this direction from, again, that top line to that line, and we get 419.1. So we're going to go 419 on that. So 419 and 343 millimeters. So now we're going to go to a new drawing. We're going to go ahead and make that a standard millimeter part. And we're going to create that part. I'm going to go ahead and create that now. You don't need to watch me do that. Okay, so here's my plate. I did set this to one that I tell you typically not to for the material. I did set this to clear blue. So you just go down your list, clear blue it's called. It makes it so you can see through it, but it gives a little bit of a blue tint to it so you can see it there well. And the other part I should mention is, I did say 0.1 inch, but remember we are set to millimeters. So if you just type 0.1 with an inch mark, it does not work. But you have to type 0.1 and then IN to make it 0.1 inches thick. I know we're kind of mixing millimeters and inches together, but quite often you do that when you're creating things. I just know that this is sold in 0.1 inch thick. So that's what we're going to use there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put that on our robot. And again, I'm going to pause it to do that. You don't need to watch me put that on the robot. All right, I've placed this thing on here. And you know, on second thought, I said before to round those off, the numbers of this to make it 419 by 343. On second thought, I think we need to make that so it's the same, or so it's the exact size. That way it's not hanging over or it's not sticking in just a little bit. We need to make it the same size. And the reason for that is, here in a moment, we're going to put some bolt holes in it so it lines up. So we do need to edit that to where that's the same. So go ahead and go back to your top plate, edit your dimensions of that, and make it 419.1. And make your width at the 343.9. Or no, sorry, 342.9. 342.9. And that's going to make it a lot better, a lot easier to get this thing placed on here correctly. Alright, so now, with this, I want a minimum of 4 bolts per side bolting this plate down. So 4 bolts along this side, 4 bolts along this side, 4 bolts along this side, and 4 bolts along this side to place that in there. With that, that means I want you to put bolt holes into this plate, or holes into that plate. To figure out where to put those bolts, you're going to have to measure. So from this surface, and let's see, my first bolt, I want it to actually go into the one that goes along this side. I want it to go into this bracket here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a bolt, let's see, I'm going to put this right here. Let's see what it measures to that hole. Could be a little bit difficult. Flip it up and get to that hole, but I'm going to, let's see, there. 12.349. 12.349. In from the side. Alright. And now how far in from the other direction? measure from there to there. Oops, didn't get measure hit. Measure from there to there. Oh, there it is. 6.915. 6.915. So that's where my first bolt hole is going to line up. So I'm going to make a hole into my top plate. And I'm just going to start that with a sketch. Again, for the point. And in from this end, I'm going to make it 12.349. And from that side, I'm going to make it 6.915. Finish my sketch. Should go back to the other drawing and see how big that hole needs to be. So let's measure. That hole is a 1.778 millimeter. 1.778. So I'm going to go to the hole. Recognize that. It's going to be 1.778. And there's my hole. Let's go back to our robot. Let's go ahead and update this and see where my first hole is. And now it wasn't on this corner, but it will line up, or should line up with any corner that it appears in. Where's my hole? Oh wait, there it is. Oh wow. And for some reason, my hole is not the right size. It's centered up nicely, looks like, but it's not the right size. Let's measure that hole again. Measure. Oh, 3.556. 3.556. I put that in the wrong size. So we'll edit that. Alright, so I got that first bolt hole there. Notice I did edit the size of my bolt to where that lines up nicely. And that's going to work. So, from there, now what I want to do is, I think I'm going to put along this side, on each corner I'm going to put a bolt in the exact same position on all the corners. So I'm going to go ahead and just go back to my sketch. I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to go back into my sketch of my holes. And I'm going to add another point in all of the corners. I'm going to go ahead and dimension this. There. And I'm just going to make this dimension match that one right there. So it's the exact same distance in. And put that dimension there. And make it match that one. Now, honestly, I can do this a little bit even more cleanly than that. I can delete that one out. Instead of dimensioning it, I'm just going to make those two collinear with each other. And make these two, oops, not that way, sorry. I'm going to make these two collinear with each other. Or not collinear, sorry. Horizontally and vertically constrained. So now this has got these taken care of, except for I need one more dimension over here. So here I need to add the dimension of how far in it is. And again, I'm not going to put that dimension in. I'm just going to come down here and make it that 12 point whatever it was, 12.349. Now all those are there. That's beautiful. Finish that sketch. We're going to go back to our hole command. Make sure I pick those corners. And I got that. Go OK. Go back to my drawing here. Update it. And notice how nicely I had that bolt hole in the corner. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add two more along this side, spaced out evenly-ish. Doesn't have to be perfectly spaced, but approximately even. I'm going to go ahead and add two out here in the middle of this side. But you know, honestly, I like having one right here in this corner, so it kind of helps reinforce this joint between this piece and this piece. So I'm going to add one here, two more out here in the middle, and one there. So this side, I'm actually going to have a grand total of 6 bolts, counting the ones on each end, and then those other 4 that I just mentioned lined in, one here, one here, one here, and one here. And on this side, I'm going to have just a grand total of 4. So I'll let you get those bolts in, and good luck with that. Okay, so now I have the rest of my bolts in there, bolt holes in there. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 along that side. Here I put one there, one here, 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 and here, all the way across there, and that's got that pretty good. The way I measured those was just measured from this side to the center of the hole. And that's it. Good luck.